podcast party. Descent into Avernus.
My name is Painbearer Corbin Shiv. My friends and I came to Haruman's Hill looking for Zariel's sword, but it's not here. Instead, we're being ambushed by Haruman himself, a Hell Knight riding on a devil horse.
Okay, Renascence, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
I trace my fingers over the symbol of the shield on my breastplate, and I say, I'm the shield, I protect mortals from the endless terrors that lie behind the stars.
In response, Gargoth says,
I don't like when you do that.
I ignore Gargoth. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but if it does, we can just get the fuck out of here.
Sounds great.
So I'm gonna try to abjure the extra planar
okay.
Oh, yeah.
on Haruman and his hell horse. So they will need to make wisdom saving throws, DC 14.
Haruman rolled an 18.
Well, that's fine. If his horse runs, he's gonna have
Exactly.
to...
He's going to be like, wait, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Zoinks!
It's actually more interested in turning the horse.
That's 16.
Yeah, no, okay, it doesn't work. Well, it was worth a try.
It was.
I am going to stand my ground right where I am.
Moving on to Hylan.
Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Bahamut, I am going to throw some psychic blades at Haruman.
Just letting you know, my heart is pounding probably as much as you guys.
Okay. I got a 19.
A 19 will miss. Oh. Actually, not so much it was a miss, is that he just pulls up his shield that he's riding behind like a jousting knight. It just pangs off the shield.
Great. Well, I'll try again.
Kill the horse, he ain't flying without it.
I hear that, and then I go for the horse on the second one. That's a 21.
That will hit.
Thank goodness. That does a whole 6 psychic damage.
It enters the flank of the nightmare. You hear it shriek in pain. Haruman looks up at you and his eyes are just whoosh with flame. It is now Haruman's turn.
Great.
Haruman is still pretty far from you guys. He's about 20 or 30 feet from you. And all you see is this hellfire flaming lance that he has. Like he's riding down like something out of your worst medieval times dreams. He points his lance at a space sort of in your general direction.
Great.
And he issues forth a horrendous command in Infernal. And he says, in this horrific, gravelly, low voice, he says, and I would like every creature within 60 feet of Haruman to make a charisma saving throw.
Why am I not closer to Renascence?
I am not within 60 feet, Matt. I already checked and measured.
Thank you.
Corbin and Lulu do get an extra +3 since they're close to me.
Wouldn't have helped me anyway because I got a 3.
Renascence got a 19.
Corbin got 18.
Okay, Lulu got a 25. So, with that said, the only one who is affected by this ability is, unfortunately, Hylan. Hylan, you have never heard something that has made your hair stand on end and made your skin erupt in goose flesh as much as this creature's voice. So much so that your heart starts to just pound out of your chest. You are frightened of this creature for 1 minute. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns. Ophelia, it's now your turn.
Okay, Ofelia will run back up the hill about 10 feet so that she is within now 60-foot range of Haruman and his nightmare. And she will cast at level 2 Dissonant Whispers, and that will be on the nightmare, not on Haruman. That is a DC 15 Wisdom save.
It rolled a 16.
Oh.
Well, it doesn't run away, but it does take 10 psychic damage.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And then I will move back again another 10 feet to where I was previously. Run back down the hill. Maybe another 10.
Who can blame you?
The nightmare carrying Haruman will move its speed, which is very fast, at its target, who is at this point in time, it is Hylan. The nightmare comes in very close and does come into effect with Spirit Guardians.
Its movement is halved in my Spirit Guardian. Probably doesn't make a difference.
Go ahead and roll your damage for Spirit Guardians. That's a wisdom save.
Yep, wisdom 15.
It got an 18.
It takes 10 points of damage. That's half.
The nightmare certainly is sort of flustered by your floating butterfly hands. The nightmare will use its attack to basically just sort of run and it stops right in front of Hylan and sort of puts up its 4 hooves and just tries to smash its hooves into Hylan's face. That's a 15 to hit.
That is target.
These hooves are, as you see them come into your particular area, Hylan, are on fire. So they will do 12 bludgeoning and 6 fire damage to you.
Okay, I'm gonna use Uncanny Dodge. Does that lower any of those?
That lowers the whole amount, so that's 9 damage total.
I'm freaking out, but still my senses are a little heightened because I'm panicking, so I just use my ability and get out of the way enough where only a couple of hooves hit me.
That's the end of the nightmare's turn. Lulu now goes. Lulu is just sort of like resting on your back, Corbin, and her eyes look at Haruman and then back at you, Corbin, and Renascence, and she says, I don't know. I want to do something, but I'm a little afraid.
Lulu, pull back. We need to move your aura back.
What? Go away.
Yeah, fair enough. So she does disengage out as her action and pulls out, and she goes as far as you want her to, just because you are psychically linked with her, so you can issue any commands to her that you'd like.
In my head, I say, Lulu, head for Ofelia.
That's exactly what Lulu does, and flies over Hylan, sort of looking sadly back at you as she sees that you are overwhelmed with the Narzagon and its mount, and flies all the way to Ophelia's space and ends her turn. Corbin, it is now yours.
Corbin is going to say,
Ilmata, protect us.
and orange twilight is going to break through all of this horrid dim light around us, and I'm going to use my Twilight Sanctuary, so we all will get temporary hit points.
Greatest.
Oh, you can also end the fear effect, right? On her turn. Instead of getting healing, you can end the fear effect on her.
Correct. Instead of getting healing, she can just end the fear effect. So, or I can end it.
Cool.
So that is my action. Corbin is going to say,
Ilmata, kill that horse.
another thin sliver of light is going to come out, and that my pillow is going to come out right next to our friend the horse, and it's going to whomp the horse. I got an 11, and so I miss.
Yeah, the horse sees the pillow coming and sort of just sidles out of the way. Renascence, it's your turn.
Let me take those 8 attempts. Renascence closes his left hand over the top of Heaven's Fall, and he says, Avernus. And I cast Branding Smite, and Heaven's Fall glows with a bright white light, and then I charge towards the Nightmare. I assume the horse is fairly low because it has kicked Hylan.
It is 10 feet off the ground, so technically if you're sort of talking about a 3-dimensional space, it is in engagement with both Hylan and you and Corbin.
What I would like to do is try to jump up and pull his leg. I want to like grapple the rider off of the horse.
Absolutely. So this will be a contested strength athletics check.
Got it. Ooh, just an 11 for me.
It got a 22. The rider, of course. So yeah, you grab it by the heel, and he sort of just unceremoniously shoves you off.
Okay, I'm gonna use my second attack to try that again. He just kicks me off, and I take one more stab at it to try to jump up and grab him again. Okay, this time it's a 24.
He got a 25. I hate this. This is so bad.
Fun.
That is my turn.
Hylan, it is now your turn. So the question is, do you want to save out of this fear, or do you want to get the health?
I would rather save and not be afraid anymore because it'll be more useful.
Great, so that you will not get the temps, but you will no longer be frightened.
Fantastic. And that's at the end of my turn?
Correct.
And it's my choice, and I'm going to end the fear.
Thank you.
Wow. There you go.
So Hylan is getting pummeled a little bit, and she is fighting because she can't believe she's this scared and incapacitated in such an important situation, and her friends need her. So she's just trying to summon any courage she can, and she just casts light in her face. She just basically puts her hands over her face and casts light, so all she can see in her closed eyes is the bright light of Celestia, and she's gonna try to overcome the fear. And then luckily, something happens, and it goes away. And she just gives a big sigh of relief and marshals herself for her next turn.
It is now the Narzagon's turn. This enormous lance that the Narzagon has carried this whole time, bright, glowing, flaming lance, it will swing 3 times.
Corbin would like it to save against his spirit guardians.
That's a natural 20 or a 22.
Well, fuck him. He still takes 8 points. Radiant.
It is certainly not pleasant. You see him just grimace and grit his teeth. You see that the radiant damage sort of burns his flesh, but no blood comes out. In response, the Narzagon will take 1 of those 3 attacks on you, Corbin, and 2 against Hylan.
Shit.
Okay, first one on you, Corbin. That's a 26 to hit. The lance pierces through your armor like a knife carving through butter, doing 7 piercing and 17 fire damage.
Whoa!
Oh, ow, oh, that hurt. And I have to make a concentration check.
Hang on, Corbin.
So I have +3, so I rolled a 13.
13's enough,
Oh, thank God.
but just barely, sir. 24 damage halved is 12, so good job.
Corbin is just about to drop his concentration, and he meets Ren's eyes.
Hang in there, Corbin.
I got it! And he holds on, barely.
Next 2 attacks are on you, Hylan. 2 attacks. First attack on you, Hylan.
Uh-huh.
At 22 to hit.
That will hit.
12 piercing, 5 fire.
Okay, I will uncanny dodge it.
Yes, you can. So that's 8 damage.
Okay,
And then the second one. That's a 20 to hit.
that will hit.
9 piercing, 16 fire.
Great.
25 damage.
Okay, I'm almost unconscious, but not yet. I am looking rough.
Ophelia, are you within 60 feet of Haruman?
I am now, yes.
The Narzagon turns his head towards you, because you seem to be the only one who maybe didn't hear him properly, points his lance after he's made these horrendous stabbing attacks at your friends, and says, and you need to make a charisma saving throw as well.
Okay, that's a 13 charisma save.
That's not enough, unfortunately. So, yeah, your eyes flare as the powerful, fear-inducing ability that this creature has just rocks you to your very soul, and you absolutely, like, all of your limbs stiffen, and you are frightened.
This motherfucker.
Ophelia, is now your turn.
Ophelia begins to play her violin, the now familiar tune of Dissonant Whispers. She is going to once again try to cast Dissonant Whispers on the Nightmare. It's a DC 15 Wisdom save.
Okay, it got a 10.
Great. Well, then
right.
it doesn't save. That is going to be 8 psychic damage that the Nightmare takes, and then it is forced to use its reaction to move as far away from me as possible.
All right.
Amazing. As a reaction, it will indeed move as far away from you as possible, willingly, and so that means that Corbin and Hylan and Renascence can all take opportunity attacks on it.
Yes, Ophelia.
I did have Branding Smite active.
You did. That's correct.
Yeah, you did.
That is a 17.
A 17 will hit.
Awesome.
It's gonna first of all take 5 magical bludgeoning and 2 radiant from the weapon. Now it's going to take the Branding Smite at level 2. That's gonna give it an additional 7 radiant, and the light from Heaven's Fall flows onto the Nightmare, which is now glowing with that same white bright light for the next minute. Again, I have no idea if it can become invisible, but it cannot for the next minute. And I'm going to dump a level 2 Divine Smite on it.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
So that is going to be 4d8.
Nice. 32.
25 radiant.
Oh.
So what's the total damage that you've done to this
Yeah,
creature?
sorry about this. So this is 14 and 25. That's 39.
Big hits for Renascence as it and the Narzagon atop it just turns, and you hear it say an infernal.
I scream at the two of them as well. Hit the horse, take out the horse.
Yes. Hylan manifests a blade and swipes at the horse, and she gets a 20 to hit.
That'll hit.
That's 8 psychic and 14 sneak attack for a total of 22.
That kills the nightmare.
Yes.
Indeed. It just disapparates. As it does so, it just turns into flame. Haruman falls, and he will make a dexterity saving throw to try to grab on to the edge of the cliff.
Amazing.
Yeah, he grabs on with one plated fist. He pulls himself to prone. So although the nightmare is destroyed, Haruman is prone.
Right on the edge.
Right on the edge. And that is the end of Ophelia's amazing turn.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah.
Great job.
Wait. Is it though? Because do I get a wisdom save or a fear saving throw? So just a regular charisma saving throw. Yes.
Yes, please.
Wow, I rolled even more poorly this time. That is a 9.
You are still
scared.
Intensely afraid.
Somehow afraid.
Maybe because you see the Narzagon grab onto the cliff and pull
I
himself
thought
up.
he was gone, but now he's still here. Yeah, that makes sense.
He pulls himself up, with the horrific soundtrack in the
It's like
background.
Freddy.
Oh God.
It is now Lulu's turn. Lulu tries to shake you out of it, Ophelia. She's like, grabs your face with her trunk a little bit. She's like, come on, girl, you gotta do something. Don't just stand there.
She slaps you with a trunk.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm really, really sorry. Yeah, there's really nothing, unfortunately, that she can do at this point in time, considering your foe.
Thanks for insulting me, Lulu.
She says, I'm sorry, I'm not good in social situations. Yeah, she just moves behind you.
It's okay, Lulu. There are a lot of other things that you are good at.
Corbin is going to use his bonus action to move his pillow right up to our friend and give him a whomp.
Oh, please pillow fight him off a cliff.
The pillow gets advantage too, right?
It is technically yes. I would say yes.
That would be a 25.
Bam! You hit him right in the head with the pillow. He's like, oh!
11 points of force damage.
Oh, ouch. Here's the thing. As you have hit him with this particular implement and his blood spills onto the cliffside, you see a tree immediately just grow out of this blood.
Oh,
and
no.
it is this horrendous iron-limbed tree just growing off the cliffside into the abyss. And you can just see that tattooed on the actual iron, as if it's etched in there, is the same word over and over and over again, the word traitor.
For Corbin's action, he is going to try to push this asshole right off the edge.
Yeah, go for it.
Athletics, right?
Yes, sir.
I rolled an 8. I have inspiration from before.
You do. Go for it. Use
I'm
it.
going to do it again.
Oh!
Nice. 22.
I'm sorry to say this. You got a natural 20 for 25.
Damn it. I was so close. Push him off. Push him off.
You give him a shove and he just like tries to push you back.
And Corbin is going to move up just 5 feet right to the edge of the cliff so that he doesn't have any space to move up.
Okay.
God, what if he tries to grab you?
I'm dead.
Renaissance, it's your turn.
I step up to the edge of the cliff next to Corbin, and like Corbin, we're just both sort of frantically like kicking and shoving to try to get him loose. I'm gonna make a push attack on him. Get off my plane! I got a 20 on my athletics check.
Okay, here we go. You got a 16.
Woo!
All those feathers and he still couldn't fly.
He's going to make a dexterity saving throw.
He had no head for heights.
He got a 16, so he grabs onto your boot. So he gets kicked off, but he makes a dexterity saving throw to grab. That's his reaction. His reaction is to grab, and he made it with a 16. So he's grabbing onto your boot. So he is off the cliff, but he's got your boot instead of the cliff.
Okay, so I have another attack. So okay, I'm gonna try that again, I guess.
Do it again.
I just try to shake him. I try to shake him off my boot.
Contested strength.
Dirty 20. Dirty 20.
Okay, dirty 20. Here we go. He got a 13.
Yes.
Tell me how you kick him off the cliff.
Get off my shoe. He's hanging on to my one boot. I sit down on the edge of the cliff. I say, Corbin, hold my hand, hold my hand.
I got you.
And I hang on to Corbin with both of my hands. And with a foot that he's not holding on to, I just kick him in the face.
Okay.
Love it.
He takes the boot in the head, and he just like, you see him just fall. And as he does so,
like Hans at the end of Die Hard.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
God, it's Christmas. Yay.
And he falls 200 feet down into the river Styx.
Bye, asshole.
Yes.
I don't think we should stick around to see if he can survive that.
Am I still scared of him, or does that go away now?
Well, he's not in your line of sight.
Yeah, he's gone.
Wow.
I kind of want to watch.
I do not. Corbin, we're not watching.
No,
I grabbed
just
her
one
wrist.
second.
Nope. No.
want to see the
Time to
splash.
run. Goodbye.
I just fall down and like grab Renaissance's leg, panting because I'm on the edge of death.
I'm pulling both Corbin and Hylan away from the edge of the cliff.
But it's really cool. No,
Corbin!
Shit. Corbin will go. I'm going to leave my Twilight Sanctuary up for a few rounds
Good
and
call.
just roll a few. And then, oh my God, I rolled 11, 11, 11, 11. So everyone has 11 temps.
Thank you.
At some point, I'll try to get Ofelia in there.
That's helpful.
I call out to Ofelia as we're moving. Ofelia,
Yes.
back to the ragawagon.
Okay.
You guys sort of trot down the hill.
Way to take out the trash.
As we're running back, Corbin is going to say, "You're more to healer," and he's going to cast Healing Word on Hylan, so you'll get 8 points.
Thank
I
you.
cast it at second level.
Thank you so much.
You reach the ragawagon at the bottom of the hill. Wizen's sort of like sitting there, his hands behind his head, chewing on a random piece of straw. Hey, how's it going? I heard some weird noises up there, but this thing doesn't even have second gear, so I didn't really know if you needed my help or not.
Start the engine. Start the engine.
Oh,
Let's go.
hey, you don't have to tell me twice. Did you guys find the sword?
No,
Where are we going to go?
where are we going? We gotta... Lulu, the sword's not here. Is there anything else you can remember?
It's worthwhile noting that as you guys sort of get back in the car and drive away from Haruman's Hill, that Lulu has sort of this look of just embarrassment and sorrow on her face. And she says very, very softly to all of you, I made a mistake.
It's all right, Lulu. It's this place. It's not you.
I thought it was here. Her voice starts to crack a little bit.
It's all right.
Don't let Avernus get the best of you, Lulu. It's hard. It's hard to make any sense of this place.
Do we have another place maybe you could think of?
I've been thinking. There's a couple places that we could take a look at.
That's all we got.
We got no other leads, so...
It's hard for me to remember. It's really tough, but I think I remember a place where demons are created, and then another place where demons are destroyed.
I choose destroyed first.
Avernus is the place where, since time immemorial, demons have fought devils. They come out of the river Styx from the abyss. They're sort of spawned out of there in order to fight the blood war. So you'll see demons and you'll see devils all over Avernus.
I feel like a place that demons get destroyed might be a place of interest to Zariel.
I agree. I vote for destroyed.
Yes.
This makes sense to me as well.
So Lulu turns to Wizen and says, Wizen? Yeah. Do you know someplace called, Immediately her eyes sort of flare open as she remembers. It's called the Demon Zapper? Demon Zapper.
What?
This just makes all so happy.
The Demon Zapper. Why is it? You know what she's talking about? Where they zap demons?
I guess you could call it that. I've seen it, like on my trips around Avernus with Maggie. I never realized it was called that. Yeah, I think I could find my way there. Yeah.
Great. Will it take about an hour so that I can take a short rest?
Oh, well, that's the thing around Avernus. You never really can tell about time around here.
All right.
You know, like if I decided that I wanted to go a certain place and I knew it was like an hour away, it could take a day or two.
All right. In that case, good night. And then I'm just going to slump against Renaissance and see what happens. I'm going to attempt to take a short rest.
So, Wizen, you point this machine towards the Demon Zapper, and if we get there quicker than we think, then we'll heal Hylan before we step out.
Alrighty. He sort of like checks the gauge on the soul meter. He says, I hope we got enough fuel to get there. I know we got a little bit of time with the current soul coin that we got. We got a couple more in our little container over here. He sort of pats the side of the container. If we run low on fuel, we're going to need more soul coins eventually if we're going to go other places.
Just clench my jaw.
Well, we've got what we have now, so let's deal with that. Let's go to the Zapper.
Right on. Okay. Let's get moseying. Hi, everybody. The show will be back shortly for the second half. Check us out at cast-party.com and follow us on Facebook at CastPartyDND, on Twitter at CastParty2, on Instagram at cast_party, or on TikTok at cast_party. As always, we're offering monthly free adventures with our Dungeon Masters. These free games always fill up quickly, so if you'd like to grab a spot, you should join our email list or our Discord server. Links to both can be found at cast-party.com. And now, back to our adventure in Avernus. Now, as we did before, traversing Avernus is kind of a weird thing, but luckily you have a guide. So, you will have 2d10. If they are matching, you'll end up in a different place than you were intending to go. So who wants to do that?
Carrie, you want to do it?
It's 2d10.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, they're different. It's a 2 and a 10.
Okay,
Yay.
fantastic. And then I want you to roll a 1d10.
That's an 8.
So, traversing through Avernus, heading through a small land bridge that sort of brings you guys south beyond Fort Knucklebone. And as you look to your left, you see the gate of Fort Knucklebone has been repaired. The red caps and the mad caps wave to you, and some of them give you the finger as you pass by Fort Knucklebone. And
Corbin moon them?
be my guest, absolutely, yeah.
Corbin will drop his drawers and moon them.
Furry,
Yeah, big
furry butt.
hairy bugbear butt. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Passing by Fort Knucklebone, you move to the quote-unquote south as you move around a rather enormous hill that has literally devil horns coming out of it, as if underneath this enormous pile of dirt and rubble there is potentially the skull or head of some large creature. You spy to the south a kind of strange yellowish orange dust storm that's moving not in your direction, but it's just sort of staying there. Normally, dust storms obviously move with the wind, but here in Avernus, the wind is very sort of strange. Sometimes you feel gusts of it moving in one direction, and then maybe a second later, gusts from a totally different direction, as if the weather doesn't even have any physical reality to hook into, so to speak. Within that dust storm, you see this strange 50 or 60 feet tall, shadowy creature with glowing red eyes. It's literally miles from your position, but you can see that it's swiping at something, either attacking it or defending itself, and so wisely, you stay away from it. That said, it takes about 8 hours for you to find the very minuscule land bridge that brings you across the river Styx and onto the other side of it. As the Raga Wagon drives across the river Styx, you see that the river itself doesn't really have a current to it, but nevertheless, it does move. You see that there are objects sort of bubbling under the surface that, heaven knows, pun intended, what the heck could live under the surface of such a body of water, except potentially being the spawning place of demons. Wizen says, "Keep all arms and legs inside the vehicle, please, at all times." And he drives across the river.
As we drive across the river, Corbin would like to throw something from the Raga Wagon into the river.
What?
He's going to take his sister's Morning Star. He's going to say, "This is where this belongs." And he's going to, with 2 hands over his head, throw it as far as he can into the river Styx.
It sails through the air end over end, lands in the river, and there is no sort of fluid reaction. There's no splash. There are no ripples. It just sort of lands there and then slowly sinks foot by foot until it is no longer seen.
With Hylan still leaning on my left shoulder, I take my right hand and I put it on Corbin's shoulder.
I'm hoping that changes her. We'll see.
Did I get a short rest?
You sure did. In fact,
Yay.
it takes 8 hours to get there, so you all can get short rests.
Fantastic.
Is there anything you guys want to do during your 8-hour trip through hell?
I guess during most of that, Renaissance's eyes just scan the grotesque countryside, looking for anything familiar.
Wizen sort of during the trip, he says, "So how do you like hell?"
Don't?
Yeah, I don't respond to that. In my head, I say to Gargoth, "So Haruman was one of her lieutenants."
Gargoth responds and says,
Well, yes, I guess so.
Who are you?
I one of her lieutenants? No.
We all work for someone, Gargs, right? Isn't that how it is down here? Sort of a hierarchy?
Yes, indeed. There is a hierarchy to all things. Those who lead and those who follow.
I know from your history that we saw that at one time you had a whole lot of people following you, mortals. But I'm guessing you answer to someone, not Zariel. Somebody else?
There's a lengthy silence, and Gargoth says,
Renascence, whether you believe this or not, prior to being invested in this rather ignominious position, I was once one of the most powerful beings in creation, rivaling that of the Lord of the Nine Heralds himself. Do you ever wish to attain something greater than yourself, Renascence?
You already know that I do.
Well, what's stopping you?
Nothing. In fact, that's what I'm about right now. If I can save that city, all those people, well, that's more than they ever expected of me at Ilmater School for Friendless Boys. So that is bigger than myself.
You know, Renascence, having the time that we've had together, being as close to you, physically and spiritually, if you believe it or not, well, I had the time to understand you just a little bit. I have a question to ask you, Renascence.
Go on.
Do you fish?
I've never been to the ocean. Sort of fish that's in the river by the time it gets to the gate. You don't really want to eat that.
So I'll take that to be a no.
No, I never fished.
Well, believe it or not, for instance, in a certain sense, I do. And I know.
and his voice gets rather dark and a little bit under your skin. And he says,
I know that once you have a fish on the hook, you either reel it in or you cut it loose. Don't just drag it behind your boat until it dies. Do you understand my meaning?
I do. But I'm lucky you're saying this to me now, Gargs, because if you said it to me in the gate, I might start believing you. I pray to Torm every day, more than once a day up there in the gate, and he never heard. But when I asked for his help on that bridge, it came. And when I asked for his help to close that door at High Hall so we could protect those people that was hiding there, he closed it. So, I guess what I'm saying, Gargs, is maybe I'm already on the hook with somebody else.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it in that particular fashion.
and in your mind, you get a vision, Renascence. And this vision is of you and Hylan. 10, 15 years later, you note that your hair has gone a little gray at the temples. Hylan seems perhaps a little older as well. And you are in a beautiful house with a green, manicured lawn. Children playing in the front yard. The two of you arm in arm, looking down, and then it just vanishes, and you are alone in the ruins of your house. And then Gargoth says,
Now, do you understand?
Don't even think about it, Sunshine. I pull the shield off of my back and I look at the image of Gargs that's carved on it, and I say, I will drown you in the Styx.
there is no response.
Put it away.
When Corbin sees Renascence staring into the shield, puts the shield away, and in Celestial he says,
There's like someone trapped in that shield, right? Like a devil, monster, person.
Yeah, Gargoth.
I know his name, but is that his real name?
I believe his real name's Gargoth, yeah.
Oh, because, well, I can't say why or how I know this, but I know there's someone who's some sort of devil trapped somewhere, looking to be released, I think. I'm not good with this sort of thing.
Corbin scratches his head.
I don't even know why I'm telling you this. Well, probably because you know some of my secrets, but I think I might know something that Gargoth cares about, if my guess is right.
Go on.
I don't know how to say it without getting myself in trouble. Story of my life. I heard a name a while back, and I thought maybe you could throw Gargoth off his game if you used the name Bells? Or maybe you know that name, Bells. Does that mean anything to you?
Does that ring a bell with me? No pun intended.
Make a religion check.
I will give myself guidance on that. Total of 7.
Yeah, unfortunately, this particular creature, Bells, never heard of it, or it, or them.
Sorry, Corbin. Hey, Gargs, I tap on the shield. Know anybody called Bells?
Gargoth does not respond.
He's sulking, Corbin. I'll keep that name in mind in case it comes up.
I know it's someone who's trapped, and I'm sure there's forces trying to rescue this devil.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, if Zariel's the big boss here, then probably going to be some underlings. I tap on the shield that might want a regime change.
That's what I'm thinking too. And maybe it's something we can use to our advantage, because we probably both need an advantage.
Good thinking, Corbin, but at the same time, just keep in mind, these creatures thrive on people that think like that. So we got to be twice as clever as them.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Well, I'm going to rely on you because you're the smartest person I know, so. All right,
Corbin.
I would poke at him with that name and see if at some point it irks him.
I'll give it a try next time we're back on speaking terms.
I might have another name, but I'm afraid to say it.
I'm guessing that's who you made the deal with.
No, I can't hear you. This thing is so noisy, this machine thing.
Does anyone speak Celestial besides the two of you?
I do. Well, I've had my eyes closed, leaning on Renaissance's shoulder like I'm sleeping.
Corbin's not trying to hide it in any way, but he is being very guarded with what he says.
I've been resting and I had my eyes closed, but I did hear that. And I'm going to create a psychic link with Renascence, and I'm going to use psychic whispers. That will last for 4 hours. And I still have my eyes closed, as if I'm resting. And I just say, Renascence, I heard what Corbin said. And the thing that stands out to me is that he said he has told you his secrets. And I'm thinking about what Mad Maggie said. And I'm thinking about what Melitium said to me when it seemed like he clearly died and came back to life. I haven't pressed him because I believe in him, and also things have been really difficult here and didn't seem like there was a lot of time to talk. But now that we're here in this car, what isn't he telling us?
I think Corbin has made a deal with the devil. I don't know the devil's name. He's carrying a soul coin, which somehow is a part of that deal. He made it to come back to life. I don't know what he has to do to fulfill his part of the bargain.
He has a soul coin?
Yeah, it's in a bag of other coins around his waist.
Well, we've seen what they do with soul coins and what they use them for.
You reckon his is empty?
Yeah, they're precious when they're full. They wouldn't give it to him.
He ain't used it so far. You think he's got a deadline?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about this. I trust him, I don't think he's going to do anything on purpose to hurt us. I just know that this place can really get under your skin, and you can do things that you didn't think you would ever do.
I trust him. I trust Corbin. He ain't going to hurt us.
We have to keep an eye out for some way to help him. I do trust him. I just want to help him be ready for the challenge when it comes. So just keep an eye on him, okay? And keep an ear out for anything that could help,
He's made a choice. We gotta figure out a way to help him unmake it. But I don't know how to do that without killing him, because that's the thing he got in exchange for the deal he made.
All right, we're gonna have to tell Ofelia. I just wanted to talk to you first to make sure I wasn't making a big deal out of nothing.
There's something else. I think something about the deal he made keeps him from saying very much about it. So that's why he ain't told us.
Oh, okay.
After 8 hours, although time is such a weird thing here in Avernus. For some of you, it feels like 8 hours. For some of you, it feels like 16. For some of you, it just feels like 1 or 2 hours. You do see on the horizon an edifice shaped like the upraised mandibles of a giant beetle, and radiant light cascades from something at the top from between the two mandibles. As you approach, you see that this building is made out of the same kind of infernal iron that you've seen other creatures either wield, carry, or buildings be made out of. And you get to about 100 feet from it. It's about 50 feet from the ground to its very top. There is something moving slowly within this orb of radiance at the top of, let's call it what it is, the Demon Zapper. Some kind of glowing golden sphere.
What does it look like?
Make a perception check.
That would be a 19.
You sort of squint your eyes and look beyond the glowing golden light within the orb, and you see that there's a beautiful, four-legged, white-skinned creature with a golden mane and a horn erupting from its temple.
Look, can you guys see that? It looks like one of those unicorn things. See it? Up there.
Corbin points.
I look.
We all see?
You all see it.
What's the unicorn doing here?
I don't know, but it's not an evil creature, right? Unicorn.
Can I roll an insight check to see if it could be something disguising itself as a unicorn?
I would say that's more of a perception check. Insight is much more around feelings and intent with, either verbal or body language.
Okay, yeah, perception. That's a 10.
Hard to tell, Ofelia.
How high up is?
It's 50 feet up.
If this is Demon Zapper area, I think it would be the radiant light, which is good.
Like it's been weaponized.
Yeah. Maybe it's trapped.
It's terrible.
Yeah, like those things on the hill.
Oh, so you think like the devil's trapped it here?
To zap demons. Yeah.
Could be.
I don't like that.
While you guys are talking and sort of discussing as to what the purpose of this thing is, you hear this horrendous screech coming from maybe 70 or 80 feet from your position. And you watch, and there is flying out of the red sky of Avernus this absolutely insane creature. You've never seen anything like it before. It looks like a giant insect, but it has kind of this enormous long proboscis. It looks like kind of like a sturge in a way, but it is definitely not a sturge in that it is 5 or 6 times the size of a sturge. It's probably 10 feet in diameter, and it flaps in on these enormous insect wings with these multifaceted eyes, screeching as it flies directly at this building. And as it gets to about 100 feet from the building, far from your position, a blinding light arcs out of the sphere, holding this unicorn, connecting like a lightning bolt to this creature, and it turns into ash in the air.
Wow.
Whoa. Bug Zapper.
Do we know what that bug creature was?
Make an Arcana check. Or a religion check, your choice.
16?
Renascence also got a 16.
Hylan got a 10.
It is called a chasme.
Like a giant blue mosquito.
When that happened, was there any change in the unicorn?
No. Didn't make a sound. Or at least, if it did, it didn't make a sound that you could hear.
Does it seem like, is it still? Is it moving around? Like, does it seem to be in stasis?
It moves to and fro within the sphere.
And the chasme was dusted?
Completely.
And is that a devil or a demon?
Chasmes are demons.
Okay, I know why it's a Demon Zapper thing. It killed that chasme.
I want to look around at, like, the structure that's holding the unicorn up, like, around the base. Are there any doors in it? And also, are there any other creatures, like, lurking around here?
Sure, make a perception check.
I'll help you.
You'll have advantage.
I will give myself guidance as well. With advantage and guidance, that is a total of 16.
You look at the building, you don't see any overt entrances or exits from this building. It's just literally a tower of infernal iron with the unicorn at its top. Beyond this creature that sort of flew out of the sky, there's nothing. It's just Avernus and you.
Are we still sitting in the ragawagon?
Sure are.
Okay, I say maybe we should get out and just walk around the perimeter of this building. Maybe there's an entrance or something on the other side.
Yep.
Why don't we just walk up to it? We're not demons.
Are we already closer than the chasme was when it was destroyed?
You're 100 feet from it.
And about how close was the chasme torched?
I would say 100 feet.
Okay, let's pull up maybe 50 feet closer.
Should we leave the car here?
100 feet away is a little farther than I'd like to get from the car, if possible.
Also, let's get the car inside the demon zapping field.
Let's have Wizen, like, drive the ragawagon 50 feet closer to the monument. We're parked in Maleficent.
Corbin has the parking app.
Boop, boop, boop. So you get within about 50 feet of it.
Okay, and I think now we step out, and if nothing interferes with us, Matt, we would like to walk around clockwise around the structure and see if there's an entrance or anything on any side of it.
Does the unicorn watch us?
You get out of the car, And as you get within about 50 feet of the building, you do notice that the unicorn is sort of looking down at you. Can't really tell more than that.
Corbin will wave, show his hands, and wave.
It doesn't do much more. Obviously, it can't wave, but it doesn't speak. It doesn't call down to you. Lulu looks up at the unicorn and just says to the four of you, "Oh no, I know that one. She's a celestial like me. That's Moon Color. In the plains of Celestia, I would say Moon Color and all of her sisters and brothers just running through the fields, wild and free and happy."
She didn't come down here with you, Lulu?
Well, if she did, I don't remember.
While this conversation is happening, I am threading the silver cord from my dreidel all around the Raga wagon, and I am going to take a minute to cast Alarm on that. In case anyone tries to boost our ride while we're checking things out here.
Sure. You're 50 feet from the edge of the tower.
Okay. Yeah, I make the alarm all around the wagon. So if anything tries to get in, I'm going to have it be an audible alarm. So it makes the sound of a handbell. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes the sound of a bell within 60 feet. So we're 50 feet from the monument. Everything within 60 feet. If that barrier is breached, everyone will hear an alarm go off.
Awesome.
Lulu, I don't know if people ride unicorns, but would you know anyone that would ride that unicorn? Maybe it's rude to say someone rides it. I don't know.
Well, Moon Color and her brothers and sisters didn't like to be ridden unless they were friends with the being that would ride it. I mean, I understand you guys use horses and mount up and run around, but they're living, breathing, thinking beings. They're not just to be used for conveyance or moving from place to place.
No, that's not what I meant. Like, I carried Ren when we flew out of El Terrell. I'm not a horse, but, I just thought maybe that was somebody's really good friend. Anyone you know?
No. Moon Color was friends with lots of people.
And you think she's trapped here?
Kind of obvious.
Do you think you could go speak with her?
I guess I could try. She flies up and just flies within about 10 feet of the unicorn. As she flies up towards Moon Color the unicorn, there is a enormous gout of stone and dust at its base. It's kind of like a miniature explosion. You all sort of have to take a step back. And in that space that has been completely decimated with stone dust and what have you, there is a being that stands there now. This being is 10 feet tall, has slate gray skin and dark hair, wears a sort of reddish robe and carries an enormous maul, and looks up at Lulu and, in a language that none of you speak, says something harsh, gravelly, very low-pitched, and Lulu looks down and goes, "Ah! Oh my gosh!" And let's roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Damn, I forgot to give Ren the blessing.
If you want, you can make an Arcana check.
Corbin got a natural 20 on his Arcana.
Awesome.
The one day he paid attention.
Ophelia rolled an 18 on her Arcana.
Hylan got a 16.
Renaissance got a 4.
Corbin and Ophelia, you recognize this creature for what it is. This is a creature not from your own plane, nor from Avernus at all. It is from one of the elemental planes. This is a creature known as a Dao, which is essentially a elemental spirit of Earth.
Hylan and Corbin's initiative should be boosted by 3. Renaissance got a 23.
Ophelia got a 5.
Corbin got an 11.
Hylan got a 16.
The Dao sort of looks at the four of you and looks up at Lulu. Lulu freaks out. And that's when, from the other side of the tower, you hear this zapping sound and this horrendous groan as a creature appears smoking, powerful enough to take the blast and still stay standing. But it is absolutely infuriated, and it begins to climb the tower. You guys can make your Arcana checks now, actually.
Ophelia rolled a 20.
Hylan got a 14.
Renaissance got a 5.
Corbin got a 20.
Again, Ofelia and Corbin, knowing, hey, you guys read up on your demons, obviously. This is a extremely powerful demon known as a Goristro.
That's not good.
No.
Thanks for listening. This episode featured Tal Aviezer as Renascence, Andy Cannistra as Painbearer Corbin Shiv, Carolyn Fox as Hylan, Rachel Tamarin as Ofelia, and me, Matt Gordon, as the Dungeon Master. This episode was edited by Carolyn Fox and Tal Aviezer. Our original theme music is by Lauren Anker and Anthony DiMasso. Remember, if you enjoy Podcast Party, please follow the show, rate us, and leave us a review. Thanks very much for listening. I'm sorry I don't want to interrupt you, but it sounds like there's some kind of thumping.
Yeah, Tal, are you thumping on something?
Oh, I was fanning myself. Sorry.
Oh my God! Here, have a grape.